Ryan, before and after the USC, you have listed tonight something that's right. We're going to talk about it, right? You should know what I'm talking about.
Marcus Freeman going to Penn State.
Yeah,
Marcus Freeman going to Penn State, Florida.
Let's talk about it because I have opinions about it. I'll kick it off if you want to.
I heard Marcus Freeman's actually going to go and be the next head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh yeah, I also heard that Sidney Sweeney's the next coach of the Penn State Nittany Lions. No, I'm pissed because this is what pisses me off about it because it's such clickbait, right? And what makes me so mad when I'm disappointed on 3-4 is, yes, they're going to take swings at big coaches, but if you say there's multiple coaches, including Marcus Freeman, there's no signs of interest from Freeman, but why is he the only coach that you're posting? Right?
Because he's the best coach. Is he the best coach? No, he's not the best coach in college football.
He might be the best coach they're reaching out to.
Yeah, but here's the thing is, why? You just signed a new contract. Why would you leave for a school that's arguably worse?
It's a downgrade.
They make less money. They have in terms of a lot of things, their regression. You beat them last year. Why would you go there? And you already built this team to what you want to be. So then leave and build that. It makes no sense. And yes,
this is why you go there.
But do you?
And they pay him $18 million.
But do you really think that Notre Dame will not pay him?
I think Notre Dame will match.
I don't think we pay him $18 million. I think we give him a raise. I think we give him a suitable raise.
See, I think
us getting him a suitable raise will match whatever Penn State gives him.
Here's the
I think the most Penn State gives him is $18-19.
But when you make $15 million, what's the difference between $15 million and $18 million?
Not much, but he's not making $15 million. He's making maybe 9 or 10. That's what I'm saying. I think we give him a raise.
So hold on, right now, hold on. So right now in his current deal, so he's finishing out his original contract. This is his last year. He's making 7.5. Once after this year, his extension will kick in, which is around $12 million, which is outside of Dan Lanning is the highest paid head coach that has not won a national championship.
Yeah.
So
I think that's why I think if they I could see Penn State offering, if they offer him like $22 million, I wouldn't blame him for taking it. At that point, it's like Penn State's they're a whole new monster, and they're doing something that I don't think they have the capability of doing.
They don't. They owe James Franklin all that fucking money.
Well,
I read something that
they're not going to
coaching job. They might not have to owe him.
They only have to pay him $30 million if he accepts a coaching job within next year, a head coaching job next year. What they're also doing is they're not paying James Franklin $50 million up front. They're probably got to pay him $26 million. Because they were talking about it on Penn State. The Spaces Day, they had one of the Penn State athletic people in there, the people that work with the AD department. They're going to pay him around $20 million, and then over the next 3 years, he's got to get a guaranteed paycheck of $10 million.
Why show this when there's other coaches listed, and you just show this for clickbait? There's been nothing for Notre Dame to go to Penn State, and it's a downgrade.
I think they do it because he's the best head coach out of all the coaches they listed. Because in this article was Matt.
Let's be realistic. There is no chance that even everybody at On3 on the Notre Dame side was like, of course, if you're any school, you're going to offer the best. Who cares who you are if it's Bama, Penn State, Notre Dame? You're going to try. But he's not leaving Notre Dame for Penn State. Let's be realistic. If
they offer him enough money, he would. I don't think they will.
I don't think he would even.
I think the only job Freeman would ever leave
is Ohio State.
Yeah.
To me, even if Penn State offers him slightly more money, right?
Freeman's not about the money.
I'm saying if Marcus Freeman leaves, it's not got to be slightly more money. I'm saying it's going to be $10 million more dollars.
Here's the thing. He won't, and I really don't think Marcus Freeman cares that much when he's already making millions about money. He doesn't care about that. He cares about the University of Notre Dame and what he can do to make it better.
I think he does, but realistically speaking, you have to look at it from his perspective. He signs a 10-year, $22 million a year deal. That is retirement money. That is Nick Saban level shit.
He could retire with his current fucking contract. If
he could retire with the current contract, but this is something where you work that contract out, and realistically, even if they buy you out, like let's say if it doesn't work out, or even something like that, even though I think it would work out because Marcus Freeman's an amazing coach, let's say something like that happens, you still get an immense amount of money, and you could go do whatever. I'm just saying it would not be shocking for him if it were to be $22 million. You took it, and if I were him, I'd do it too. I'd give you $22 million reasons.
Who's an alumni? You have so many other coaches that I think are going to have the opportunity. I just don't think there aren't many jobs better, especially in the NIL era, than Notre Dame. Notre Dame is one of the best jobs you can have. You don't leave that. Kirby Smart's not leaving Georgia to go coach at Penn State. Marcus Freeman is not leaving Notre Dame to coach at Penn State.
What, Dan Lanning?
Do you think maybe the job would be easier?
No.
I think it would.
No,
I don't.
Penn State. I talked about this. My brother-in-law is a Penn State fan, and the hard part about Penn State, and I got another friend that has a brother that goes there because I'm from that area, and you're great for recruiting the Pennsylvania kids, but it's sad because as a program, they're known and they're one of the best, but they're not Michigan, Ohio State, in the Big Ten. They're not Notre Dame outside the.
They're not even Oregon.
They're kind of they're tier 2 in their conference.
I don't know if they're tier 2. Let's be real here.
They're not Ohio State. Tier 2.
No, Ohio State, Michigan.
Not a knock, but they're on par.
I think tier 1 is Ohio State, Michigan, USC, and Penn State.
Penn State is not on tier with them though.
They
don't make as much money as them. They make a lot of money, but
they make similar amount of money to Ohio State.
Wait a minute, you don't think Oregon's tier 1?
Oh no, wait, Oregon too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think Penn State is slightly below them.
I think if you were to rank the job, and we did this with of course you know who Cornwall is, Ryan. I don't know if you've ever been in there with Cornwall before, Sean, but we did it with Cornwall. I would put the job top jobs in the Big Ten. It would be, of course, it'd be Ohio State, Michigan, and it'd be Oregon, USC, then Penn State. And realistically, I would flip. I think it's justifiable to flip-flop Penn State, USC.
But if you're the 5th best team in your conference and you're at Notre Dame, if you're the 5th best team in the conference, you're not higher than most of the Big Ten teams, Notre Dame, SEC teams. Arguably, to be honest, Florida State or Clemson's arguably a better job than
Clemson? I don't think Clemson's a good job at all for anybody right now.
I think
Clemson has a problem with their own boosters not wanting to give money because Dabo Swinney sold them on this idea that NFL's not going to last.
But mainly Florida State. I said arguably.
Here's my
Florida State. I can see that. Yeah,
it's a downgrade. It is a downgrade for Freeman.
This is a downgrade.
It is. It is. I'm just saying you got to look out for multiple different things. If it's in that $10 million more, it's understandable in my mind.
Not only do they have to pay that, but they would also have to buy out Marcus Freeman's contract.
Buyout for Freeman's contract's only like $11 million if they do it this year.
On top of that, and let's be realistic here. He already established himself at Notre Dame. He loves Notre Dame.
I don't think he has
to reestablish himself.
I don't think he has to buy. I don't think they have to buy out his contract because he's in between the extension year. They have to buy out the contract from the existing year, and there's no more years left on that contract because next year he starts his new contract, right?
Yeah, and next year it starts. It kicks in.
I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. But of course, I like to play tit for tat with this shit. But if he was offered $22 million, I would not think it's a terrible thing for him to take it.
There's a reason too that a lot of either insiders at Notre Dame or people in the college football world have talked about this and have said, "No way."
I don't know. I just think that if he gets offered 22, if it's something where he's almost doubling his current contract, I would not be shocked. Not be against it.
I do have a question. Because as I was looking for this post, someone Titans account made a graphic of Marcus Freeman.
No, he's not going to the NFL.
Coach. Do we think that the NFL, if an NFL team comes calling with a decent size
Marcus Freeman is how old? It's Marcus Freeman, 36.
Let me see.
He might not be 36. He's 34.
I thought he was 37, but
He might be 37.
He is 39.
He's 39. 5 more years. I think, yeah, he looks a lot younger. Yeah. 5 more years. 45, I think that's where he'll go.
My dad told me that he was like, oh, in the next 10 years, I think he goes to the NFL. I straight up told him, I was like, fuck off. Like, I just think I'm going to be realistic, and this is how, and I'll be very short with this. There are coaches that are NFL coaches. There are coaches that are college football coaches. There's coaches that are both. And I'm going to be realistic. Kirby Smart. Nowadays, the appeal to the NFL isn't as appealing in the landscape of college football coaches when you're making either more or the same. And coaches like Kirby Smart and all of them are staying in college football. I think I think Marcus Freeman, how he relates to players as a player's coach, if he's coaching players the same age as him, is it going to be as big of a message as if he's coaching 18-year-olds? And I just think that he's better suited for college, and I think he knows that and understands that.
Well, my main thing with it is he's only had, this is fourth year as a head coach in college football.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that, he's not an NFL coach, because I don't know that. He's 4th year in. Difference between him and Kirby Smart are Kirby Smart was an OS. When Kirby Smart, his first head coaching job was Georgia, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was at 54 he got that job?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Kirby Smart got into the head coaching job a lot later than Freeman. So when it shot, because it's got to be the same thing with Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin went to the NFL because he thought that, I'm really ahead of the game. I think I have the ability to take this risk, and if it doesn't work out, I go back. Jim Harbaugh, same thing. Jim Harbaugh was like 48. He wanted to take a risk in the NFL. And he came back.
I think too, like the aspect of this, I just don't see it. And I did see a post, and this is what I think Penn State should do. Last year, of the 12 teams in the college football playoff, I believe 8 out of the 12. I could be mistaken, but it was like 7 or 8 out of the 12 was a check mark for first-year head coaches with that team. Like whether it was Kirby Smart, Marcus Freeman,
Dan Lanning,
right? All of them.
You mean that was their first coaching job?
Yes, as a head coach. Yeah. So, if I'm Penn State, you could go after Signetti, which I wouldn't leave. I think they're going to probably get Matt Rule or Matt Campbell. But if you got to consider going after a young coordinator to establish himself. You got to consider.
And I, you know what? I've talked to Cornwall about this and some other guys I know in the Penn State fandom that are actually pretty cool, unlike most of their fan base. I was like,
are you saying people that defend pedophiles aren't cool?
Yeah. I do.
Keep going.
I do. I mentioned it. I'm like, I think you guys. I get Matt Rule. I get Matt Campbell. I personally think if you want to kind of break down that foundation that James Franklin brought in, but at the same time bring some revitalized energy and excitement into the program, while also kind of eventually breaking that ceiling that's been on Penn State football for the last decade plus, I think it would be smart to do what Notre Dame and Oregon did. Like Sean said, go out there and get a young coordinator that will grind on the recruiting trail, do whatever it takes, give him his first head coaching job, let him bring some of that young revamped energy into the program, get some excitement, get some buy-in from the boosters, and do it from there.
Schedule next year is easy enough too.
Because think about it. No, what was Notre Dame and Oregon prior to hiring Dan Lanning and hiring Marcus?
Well, Notre Dame and Oregon both hired in-house.
No, Dan Lanning they just brought him from work. They brought him.
Dan Lanning their OC?
No. He was at DC at Georgia.
DC at Georgia.
Yeah.
Never mind, keep going.
What was Notre Dame and Oregon before Brian Kelly and Mario Cristobal left Oregon and Notre Dame? What were those two teams? They were 10-2 teams, borderline playoff teams every year. They were, but what could they never do? They could never win those big games under those two coaches. They brought in Dan Lanning. They brought in Marcus Freeman. yes, it took a little bit for those programs to kind of get going. Anytime you hire a new head coach who wants to implement his philosophy, but look at where Notre Dame and Oregon are now. You could argue that both of those programs are in a better spot now than they were under the previous coaches they had.
The only coordinator I see Penn State maybe hiring is the IU coordinator.
Yeah.
What's his name?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I will say
that's the only one I see him doing.
I would like to see if y'all could guess what I'm thinking. I know the perfect job for James Franklin. And when I say perfect, I mean perfect. And can y'all both get one guess and guess what it is?
It's the Vandy OC job.
Arkansas.
No, it's Virginia Tech. That is the perfect job for him. Because he's good at those programs like Vanderbilt, and Virginia Tech and Vanderbilt kind of similar. I probably would rather have Virginia Tech, but similar.
Bryant Haynes, that's what I was thinking of.
You could make a program like that. You're in the Pennsylvania area, right? You can make that ACC power school. And James Franklin, yes, he has this shit as a coach, but he is good at winning games he's supposed to and establishing programs like he did at Vanderbilt and Penn State. And I think that Virginia Tech would be a fantastic job for him.
My only thing with the Virginia Tech thing is that they're going to have to be a program that constantly competes with Virginia for players. I don't think Franklin can do that.
Vanderbilt and Tennessee.
He didn't really compete with Vandy. He never really beat Tennessee out for players at Vandy.
Another thing I would say is like some other
guys. He got 3 stars and made them into 4 and 5 star athletes. That's one thing Franklin did. Now Penn State, he's all by himself. I think it would take a while for it.
I think Will Stein, the OC at Oregon, would be a good hire. I also think, and was it Andy and Ari were talking about this on their show? Some people that people aren't talking about, but they think would be a great hire if you were going like the Notre Dame Oregon route, would be the USC DC. The defensive coordinator. He is a Penn State alum. He's a Penn State alum, former, and he's one of the best young coordinators in college football. He's a great recruiter. That would be something I would look at.
The thing is, with what they did, they're paying, like at the end of all of it, they're going to pay this guy $50 million, and they fired him mid-season. I have a feeling they're not going to settle for a coordinator. I have a feeling it's going to be a head coach, or it's got to be legitimately a coordinator who is looking top tier shit. USC's defense is not looking top tier shit. The only coordinator I said that's doing that, well, Will Stein's one, but Bryant Haynes is the other.
Before we go on to USC, I'm going to say 2 things. Something I feel, and of course I don't know Marcus Freeman, but like I just feel in my heart that Marcus Freeman, and this is no shot at you, Ben, and you have your opinion, that's okay. But I feel, and maybe it's because I'm dumb for it, but I feel in my heart that Marcus Freeman isn't in it for the money like that. And he's making enough money to where he truly cares about Notre Dame and wants to bring success for Notre Dame. And, if it happens, it happens. But I think we can all agree that this report being clickbait because it's a top report. Let's be realistic. Either no chance or very unlikely. He's staying at Notre Dame, right?
Yeah, I think he stays no matter what.
The problem is you have shit like this, and then I'm sure you saw that.
Freeman, what do I tell you every single time? And it's always the exact same words. You have shit like this, and what do I tell you, Freeman, every single time?
What?
What does 229 tell you every single time?
Touch grass.
Go touch grass. No one gives a shit what 1-3 thinks. They're a shitty reporting company who makes money off of saying that certain high schoolers got to be this good in college football, and they're never really that good at college football. They're always wrong, and they're shit at it. Why do we listen to one for this? We let the media in college football control us so much that we think that we have to listen to them for every single thing. There's people out there that really think Marcus Freeman's got to leave for Penn State. It's not just Penn State fans. It's actual idiots out there who think that. Because all they do is listen to fucking 1-3. Stop listening to 1-3.
Well,
you agree,
Ryan.
Ryan, you agree it's not happening, right?
It's not happening.
But what I'm saying is, the thing that pisses me off, right, is I hadn't been on my phone for a lot of the day. I get on my phone and I get tagged in a Penn State fan that made a post off of this, and it's blowing up. And they said, "Oh shit! Looks like Penn State's going to steal Marcus Freeman from Notre Dame. They're in contact with." According to Pete Nakos, they're in contact with Marcus Freeman's agents. I click on the article, and that's not what it says. The article says that Pete Nakos expects them to try to target Marcus Freeman and reach out. They haven't yet. So I don't know where. And they're like, well, Penn State Illustrated or whatever the fuck, they're on 3
Penn State Illustrated said that Urban Meyer is a prospect to be the fucking head coach. Fuck Penn State Illustrated, dude.
And then you had Brady Quinn. Brady Quinn was on Always Irish, and he's like, I know Urban Meyer personally, and he said we were just shooting the shit, and I saw the Penn State thing come up, and I brought it up to him, and he's like, no. He's like, that's not happening.